In the world buzzing with loud noises and flashing screens, let's journey somewhere different. Let's rediscover the magic of traditional storytelling through the simple joy of reading stories aloud. Welcome to the World Story Mind, where stories come alive in your mind. Hello, my little explorers. So tonight's story is based on a legend from Ghana in West Africa. Yes, we're going to West Africa today. So the story involves a clever spider named Anansi, Nunya, a young man who's the smartest man on earth, and also alien beings. Yes, we have aliens coming to earth in the story. And at the end, how an unlikely hero emerges and saves earth and saves everybody on it. But before we begin the story, let's learn a little bit about the country the story takes place in, Ghana. Ghana is a place of golden sunshine, lively music, and very rich traditions. A country where the past meets the present, where kings once ruled mighty kingdoms, and where people celebrate life with dance, music, and colorful traditions, and colorful festivals. Did you know that Ghana was once called the Gold Coast? Yes, that's because it had so much gold that traders from all over the world came to buy it. Today, Ghana is still known for its beautiful gold jewelry and crafts. Long, long ago, Ghana was also known for its powerful kingdoms. One of the most famous was the Ashanti Kingdom, ruled by Asantehene, the Great King. If you ever visit Ghana, you'll see people wearing the most colorful patterned fabrics. The most famous one is called kente cloth. Kente is a brightly colored hand-woven fabric made by the Ashanti and Ewe people. Kente is worn for special occasions and special celebrations like weddings, festivals, and royal ceremonies. Women often wear a wraparound cloth called entoma around their waist with matching headscarves. Men wear flowing robes like agbada or drape kente over one shoulder just like the ancient kings. If you want to learn about food, Ghanaian food is full of bold flavors. Here are some must-tries if you ever decide to try food from Ghana. Jollof rice, a tasty tomato-flavored rice dish loved across West Africa. Kelewele, spicy fried plantains, crispy, sweet, and a little fiery. Fufu and light soup, soft, stretchy dough made from cassava and plantain, eaten with warm soup. No chewing, just swallow. It is that soft. If you ever try Ghanaian food, make sure to leave a comment and let me know what your experience was, because I bet you're going to be blown away. Ghanaian music is full of energy, drums set the rhythm, and each dance tells a story. Ghanaians love their festivals, which is filled with music, dance, and food. Let's talk about some fun facts about Ghana. Long ago, drums were used to send messages just like ancient telephones. Ghana was the first African country to gain independence from the European rule. Mole National Park in Ghana is home to wild elephants, antelopes, and baboons. Ghana's soccer team, the Black Stars, is one of the best in Africa. Ghana still produces a lot of gold. Ghana's first president, Kwame Nkrumah, was one of Africa's greatest leaders. He helped unite the African countries and dreamed of strong, independent Africa. The most interesting is fantasy coffins. In Ghana, people are buried in coffins shaped like what they loved in life. A fish for a fisherman, a plane for a pilot. Another fun fact that I'm most interested in is a story that has been passed down from generation to generation. It's a story about a clever spider named Anansi. With that, we're going to get into a story. So in the tale that has been told for years and generations, Anansi was a tricky and very clever spider who loved to outsmart others. Some actually say that Anansi was the one who brought stories into this world. But today we're just going to focus on a tale where Anansi got too greedy and had to learn a big lesson. Here goes. A long, long time ago, before people were wise, Niame, the sky god, gathered all the wisdom in the world and put it into a small clay pot. Anansi found this out, but of course the mischievous spider wanted all the wisdom for himself. So he stole the pot and thought, if I keep this to myself, I will be the wisest of all. He decided to hide it in the tallest tree so no one could reach it or ever get it. He tied the pot to his belly and started climbing. But the pot kept bumping against him. He struggled, he slipped, he couldn't climb. Down below, his young son watched him. So he said, "Father, why don't you tie the pot to your back instead? It will be easier for you to climb." Anansi froze. Wait a minute, his son didn't even have the wisdom pot, and yet he had just given him a great advice, which was very wise. Anansi became angry and thought that this was all a fluke and threw down the pot. Crack, the pot shattered, and all the wisdom inside it flew into the wind, spreading it across the world. Some landed on you, some landed on me, some landed on everyone. That's why no one person is wisest of all in this world. We all have a little wisdom in us. Anansi learned a lesson that day. Wisdom is meant to be shared, not hoarded. Now, since then, every time a child is born, the sky god Niame goes and sprinkles a little bit of wisdom dust on that child. But my dear listeners, there was one problem. What if someone got too much wisdom? That's where our next story begins. So the story is about a boy named Nunya. Something strange happened when he was a baby. Niame accidentally sprinkled a huge amount of wisdom dust that landed right on his head. Now because of that large amount of sprinkle that Nunya had received, he wasn't like other kids. While others played, he solved math problems. While others laughed at jokes, he only said, "That's not logical." Nunya was the smartest human alive, but there was a problem. Because he was so smart, he didn't understand feelings. He didn't laugh, he didn't cry, didn't even get excited about anything. When people talked to him, he always made them feel small and silly, unintentionally. So no one wanted to be his friend. Even though he was super smart, Nunya was lonely. He didn't have any friends. Nunya, the word, his name, literally meant wisdom. Though he had all the answers in the world, he could not solve the mystery of being able to be a part of the society as a normal human being. But all of that was going to change. One night, something incredible happened. The sky glowed green and blue, like giant ships hovered over the Earth's atmosphere. Beings from another planet had arrived, and they called themselves Starborn. So long time ago, this is way back when humans had not even discovered fire, there were the Starborn, mysterious glowing beings from far away in the universe. They weren't your average aliens with green heads and big eyes. Oh no. The Starborn were made of pure energy, swirling lights, shifting shadows, and sparkling stardust. They had been watching the universe for thousands of years, traveling from planet to planet, seeing which ones were doing well and which ones were, well, a total mess. Some planets had smart creatures who built great cities and worked together. Some planets had beings that just fought all the time, making a huge mess. The Starborn had one big rule. If a planet was in danger of ruining itself, the Starborn would step in and fix it. But here's the thing. Not all Starborn agreed on how to fix things. They also had disagreements. And that's where our story really begins. Okay, so the Starborn were split in two groups. One were the luminaries, the kind ones, who believed that planets and their people should learn and grow on their own. Sure, they might make mistakes, but that's how they get better. That's how you learn from your mistake. Instead of taking over, the luminaries liked to test the civilizations, giving them challenges and puzzles to see if they were wise enough to fix their own problems. The leader was Leora, the radiant one, a Starborn made of glowing silver light. Her eyes twinkled with tiny galaxies, and she could see the potential in every species, even the messy ones, like the humans. She believed that Earth still had a chance to become something great. And then there were the Umbraxes. And oh boy, these guys were not the fun type. The Umbraxes believed that most civilizations were too foolish and too reckless to rule themselves. They thought emotions made people weak and that planets needed strict rules, no fun, and no freedom. Their leader Zyphar, the cold and the dark, shifting shadow with glowing red eyes, he had already taken over dozens of planets, turning their people into emotionless, perfectly organized creatures. To him, humans were too messy, too emotional, and way too unpredictable. Earth is a disaster, Zyphar said. They fight, they waste their resources, and they don't even listen to their own wise people. We must take over and rule them properly. But Leora shook her head. Not all humans are foolish. Some of them are very special. They deserve a chance. Leora and Zyphar argued and argued, but Starborns don't fight like us humans do. There were no laser beams, no giant space battles, as cool as that would be. Instead, they came up with a test. Zyphar smirked. Fine, let's give them a puzzle, the hardest puzzle in the universe. Leora nodded. And if they're able to solve it, we will leave Earth alone. Zyphar laughed. Ha! No human is smart enough for that. They rely too much on their feelings. They don't think like us. They will fail. Leora smiled, but she did not argue. She knew something Zyphar did not. She knew that wisdom comes in many forms. She knew that somewhere on Earth who could prove Zyphar wrong. And so the cosmic puzzle was created, a mysterious, glowing cube that twisted and changed every second. No one in the entire universe had ever solved it before. If humans failed, the Umbraxes would take over Earth forever. If humans succeeded, the Starborn would leave them alone and let humans keep their freedom. But who could possibly solve the hardest puzzle ever made? And so the sky split open. Great silver ships, glowing like stars, hovered over the cities of Earth. The whole world watched in wonder and fear as the Starborn descended. Zyphar's voice echoed across the land. Humans, humans, you have been judged. You are reckless. You are ruled by emotions. You are destroying your own world. Gasps of panic spread throughout the crowd. Were these visitors going to take over? Then Leora's voice followed, as soft as a starlight. But we believe in fairness. We will give you one chance, one puzzle. Solve it, and we will leave. Zyphar's voice echoed again. Solve this puzzle, and we will leave. But fail, we shall rule you forever. The cruel Starborn laughed. There's no human smart enough to solve it. A strange object appeared before them, a cube that twisted and shifted on its own, covered in glowing symbols that changed every second. It was literally the hardest puzzle in the universe. Zyphar crossed his arms and said, "Go on, try it. It is impossible." The people of Earth stared at the puzzle in horror. Who could possibly solve this? Who could possibly solve such a thing? People of Earth panicked. Nobody knew what to do. The world's smartest scientists, inventors, and thinkers all stared at this puzzle, scratching their heads and not knowing what to do. Then, from the crowd, a voice said, "I'll solve it." The people gasped. It was Nunya, the boy who was too smart for his own good. The boy who no one understood. The boy who never showed emotions, never laughed, and never had any friends. For the first time ever, Nunya was Earth's only hope. Zyphar sneered. "Let's see this little human fail." But Leora smiled. She had a feeling for this one, that maybe, just maybe, Zyphar was wrong. And so, the greatest challenge in the history began. So the Starborn proceeded with giving him the cube of infinite possibilities, shifting, glowing, changing every second. The hardest the hardest puzzle in the universe. Nunya's eyes flashed with knowledge. He studied it, turning the shapes, twisting the symbols. The world held its breath. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, then click! The puzzle locked into place. A beam of golden light shot into the sky. Nunya had solved the impossible. The kind Starborn Leora bowed. The humans have shown wisdom. We will keep our promise and leave. The cruel Starborn, though angry, Zyphar had to leave. Earth was finally free. The people cheered. Nunya saved us, they cried. The boy who was once ignored was now a hero. People wanted to know him, listen to him, and be his friend. And for the first time in his life, Nunya felt something. His chest felt warm. It wasn't logic. It wasn't a fact. It was something else. It was feelings that his heart felt. Maybe wisdom isn't just about being smart. Maybe heart has its own wisdom too. Maybe the brain and the heart come together to make us complete. Remember, my friends, being smart is wonderful, but being kind and understanding is just as important, because the wisest people are those who listen to both their brains and their hearts. I hope you enjoyed today's story. I'll see you next time.